Hey everyone, my name's Noah from CCA. You may have already talked to me on the phone before, but if I haven't gotten to meet you yet, then it's very nice to finally meet you. Today we're going to be talking about Windows 11. You've probably heard of it and you might already be getting it installed on your computer. We've been getting some questions recently like, what is Windows 11? How do I use it? What's different? And maybe even some pain points people have been running into. So in this video, we're going to be focusing on those Windows 11 aspects and how you can make Windows 11 work best for you. Okay, so here we are booted up in Windows 11. Some of it's going to look kind of similar to what you used to see in Windows 10 every day, but some things are going to start to look a little bit different in Windows 11. One thing right off the bat that you might notice is that the kind of taskbar menu right here is right down in the middle instead of being all the way off to the left. And then from this point forward, we'll just kind of go through some of the more noticeable changes with Windows 11. So down here on the taskbar, like we were talking about, it lined up in the middle. We got some of our new buttons down here. So kind of just going down the list, we have search, task view, widgets, and chat, which you can see kind of correlates down here. The start button is functionality. It's going to be very similar to the old start button that you used to see in Windows 10, but it's obviously just kind of given a more new modern aesthetic. You have your pinned apps up here where you can kind of pick which apps you want to put up here. Like for example, if you want to put all your Office apps up here, you can use them the most, you can kind of pin those around, and then it'll give you some recommended apps based on what it thinks you're going to want to use. And then you can get to all of your apps just in this scrolling menu right here. Down here in the taskbar, we have our task view window, which this screen will just bring up any open windows you have. So for right now, I only have settings window open, so it only shows that one. It'll just show you a big 30,000 foot view of all the windows you have open, and then you can do multiple desktops. Like let's say I had a bunch of windows scattered on this screen and I just wanted like a clean slate to work in. I can just hit the new plus new desktop option and then just go right into my desktop 3, and then I have a brand new space to work on, and kind of keeps everything more organized and clutter free. Next button here on the taskbar that we're going to look at is the widgets button. So this is a newer one for Windows 11. It will pull up a kind of separate panel on your screen where it has special widgets like weather and news and other customizable things, like you can get like sports scores and stuff like that. It's really just meant to be like a central hub for very like pertinent and real-time information that you might want to look at really quick throughout the day. Okay, last one on the list of the new taskbar buttons is going to be the chat button right here. So you can see if you click into it, it's going to just talk about, chatting with your friends and family. But to keep in mind, this chat, even though it looks like Microsoft Teams and is built off of Microsoft Teams, it's actually only useful for like personal conversations with like a Microsoft account. It does not work for the corporate or business version of Teams. If you're already using Teams before you got Windows 11, just keep using it how you did before you got Windows 11. And on that note, it might be a little bit easier just to get rid of this button so you're not looking at it. So to do that, you just have to right click anywhere on like a blank empty space on the taskbar. So just right click. It'll only give you one option. You just do taskbar settings right here. It'll bring up this window that I was in before, and then we can go here. We're going to turn off chat just by left clicking on it, and you can see it kind of disappeared on us. So that's just the way you can get rid of it, to kind of, don't have to look at something you don't ever use. I just get rid of all of these. I kind of like just having only the apps I use. I know some other people like to leave them on. I know Chris, I think, just leaves the search and the task view ones on just because he gets a good use out of those, but I just kind of like that more clean look. But at least this way you can kind of pick and choose what you want to show up and what you want to hide. Another thing you might have noticed when we were clicking on the taskbar, it only gives you that one option. I know in Windows 10 you would get a big list right here of various different options, one of them being Task Manager, which can be a really helpful thing to use on your computer, like if you get a stuck or not working app, to be able to just close it and kind of get a fresh start on that. But as you can see, if we just right click, it doesn't show up right here. So it's in a slightly different spot. Now you have to click right on the Windows, right click right on the Windows Start button. Just gonna right click there, and then it'll give you like that big list you're used to seeing. Then you can just do Task Manager, and then the rest of it's the same. Or you can always just do the classic Control-Delete, and then it'll just bring up Task Manager right here. So that's mostly the same. You just kind of have to relearn that muscle memory of going anywhere on the taskbar to right click, because now it only brings up that one setting. So one thing you might have noticed in the new start menu that I was showing before is that you have your big list of like pinned apps right here. Like I mentioned earlier, these can just be like kind of like a quick way to get at some commonly used apps. I often have like Google Chrome and all the Microsoft Office apps listed here on my computer, but you can either both add or remove apps. So you'll probably will see like a lot of already kind of preloaded apps here. If you want to get rid of them, like let's say I want to get rid of TikTok right here because I'm never using it, you would just right click on it and then we would just hit unpin from start and then it'll just disappear and everything will kind of move over and fill in its spot right there. So then if you want to go ahead and pin an app, if you want it to show up in this list, we just have to go find the app we want. So we're just going to go to all apps. And let's just say I want to pin the calculator app, so I'm just going to right click on that. And the top option right here should just be pin to start. We're just going to click that. And then if we just go back here quick, I just have to scroll down a little and you can see the calculator app shows up in my pinned list and I can easily just click on it to bring up my calculator. One last note about the start menu is on Windows 10, the settings button, like the gear cog icon, used to just be hard set right next to the power button. Windows 10, it wouldn't move around. It was always there whenever you needed it. But in Windows 11, that's not really the case anymore. So we can see on my computer here that the settings button was kind of already here when I got here, which is really nice. It'll probably already be there for you whenever you open this. However, if it's not, just kind of like what we did before, you just might have to go search for it. You can either scroll or I'm just gonna type settings here quick and then you just have to right click on it and then you would just click pin to start. For me right now it just says unpin from start because I already had it pinned. But just to note, now in Windows 11 it might kind of show up in some random spots for you and you just might have to go looking for it if you don't already see it. Okay, so now after finishing that, we're gonna start talking about some Windows 11 questions that some of our customers have submitted to us. And one of those first questions is about snap layout and exactly what those are. So snap layouts are a new way in Windows 11 that you can organize your windows on your screen. So in this example, we have our Google Chrome window open here, filling up the entire screen. The older way you used to do it in Windows 10 is you'd have to like drag the windows around, kind of size them around and everything like that, which once you did enough times, you could get used to it, but it's a little bit inefficient sometimes. To use this new snap feature, we just have to go up into the window resizing button in the top right-hand corner. And then right when you hover your mouse over, you're gonna see various options of resizing your windows. You can kind of pick like half and a half, 2/3 and 1/3, many different things. So for this example, I kind of want to do the 2/3 and 1/3 one. So we're just gonna click on the 2/3 window here, which is where Chrome is going to go. And then you see the Chrome is going to snap over to the the left-hand side in the 2/3 box, just like we said. And then since I have File Explorer open right here, it gives us the option to put that into the smaller section. You just have to click on it and it's gonna automatically snap right into the spot here. And then from here, you can do anything you need to. You can click around in both of them. Or let's say I want File Explorer just to be a little bit bigger here. So you're just gonna kind of put your mouse in the middle of the two. You're just gonna left click, pull them along here. Right there looks good. Let go, and then it'll resize both of them just the way you like it. So now you can do that in a really efficient way. You don't have to mess around with making sure the windows line up right next to each other. Windows 11 will just help you do it automatically. So now that we got done talking about snap features in Windows 11, we're going to talk about a new feature in Windows 11 that I actually really like, and those are the new laptop docking features. So you might remember from Windows 10, if you had a laptop, you'd take your laptop, you'd plug it into the dock, and if you had multiple screens, your windows would just kind of go everywhere or nowhere. They'd all just kind of go in the middle, and I honestly found it really annoying. I hope for years that they'd fix that. So finally in Windows 11, they finally fixed it. Your laptop will actually recognize and remember the specific dock that you're on and the specific order that your screens are on. So let's say you have Chrome window in the right and then your Outlook window in the left. When you go and plug your dock back in, Chrome and Outlook will pop back up on those screens automatically. You don't gotta go dragging windows around and make sure everything's in the spot that you'd like. It'll just kind of remember it for you. And then when you go and unplug the dock, all your windows from your monitors will just close back down and stay out of the way. That way you don't get a big mess of all your windows just sitting on your laptop screen when you go and unplug it from the dock. The next question is, how is Windows 11 getting deployed? How is it going to show up on my computer? The answer is pretty much automatically. Your computer will kind of start to download and install it in the background as you work, and then eventually in the bottom right hand corner you'll see a little Windows Update icon with a little blue dot. That's just there to signify to you that the Windows 11 update is ready, and it'll kind of just, next time you go to restart your computer or turn it off at night, when you boot up the next morning, Windows 11 will install and get everything ready for you, and it'll look just like how we have it over here. A lot of our customers have been asking if they should be worried about Windows 11, either worried about getting it installed on their computer, or now that's already installed, should I be worried about, like, did I mess something up? Do I need to do anything to get it to work? And the answer is honestly, not really. Windows 11 will install on its own, like I mentioned before, and your computer will kind of pre-check itself to make sure all your hardware is compatible. So Windows 11 won't try to go on your computer if it's not going to work. So you don't really need to worry about anything there. All your apps that you already have should just kind of carry over to Windows 11. There really aren't many issues right now that we've run into with apps not working. A couple months ago, people were asking us when Windows 11 was in the beta, like test stage, if they should be doing it, and we told people not to install it then, just because back then, as Microsoft was ironing out all the issues, there were a lot of issues with either apps not working or apps crashing, or for what happened to me is I installed Windows 11, I went to plug in my dock and the entire computer just crashed. So back then it was really not a great experience back in the summer, but now a couple months later, Microsoft ironed out a lot of the issues and it's a lot smoother experience now. On that note, if you're using your computer for a while and you notice that you aren't getting Windows 11, you really don't have to worry about it. So if you don't get Windows 11, it just means that your computer was not deemed that the level that Windows 11 requires in order to run properly, but running on Windows 10 for right now is perfectly fine. Windows 10 is going to be supported by Microsoft until October 2025, so that's a long time that you'll get security updates and, you know, bug fixes and everything like that, and apps will still support Windows 10 in that amount of time too. So like I said, there's no issue of running Windows 10. You'll be perfectly fine for right now, and you can probably keep on running that same device that you have right now. The only reason you'd really need to get a new one is if you really want Windows 11 and want some of the new stuff that we're talking about today, then you would have to upgrade. But again, like I said, you should just be able to hang on to your older device with Windows 10 for a couple years still. So that's all we have to share on Windows 11 for today. Thanks for getting it this far into the video. We really enjoy being able to kind of teach you guys more stuff about technology and how you can make it work for you. If you have any questions, like if something in this video wasn't covered that you want an answer, just feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to help you with any questions that you have. But on that note, thanks for watching all the way through, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye everyone.